Hello, learners. Welcome to Lecture 14 of Module 3, where we'll talk on public health policies and programs for RCH. In the last lecture, we explored demographic transition, fertility patterns, and the overview of national health programs related to RCH. Building upon that foundation, today's focus is specifically on maternal health services and safe motherhood initiatives. These initiatives are central to reducing maternal mortality and morbidity, ensuring equity in access to care, and fulfilling the larger goals of reproductive and child health for all. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to define maternal and safe motherhood clearly, outline the major services under maternal health and identify key safe motherhood programs in India and globally. We will also connect these initiatives with international frameworks like the SDGs and examine the persistent challenges. This will give you both conceptual clarity and a policy level understanding relevant for both academic and field applications. Maternal health refers to overall health of women during the critical periods of pregnancy, childbirth, and the postpartum stage. It is not limited to surviving pregnancy but ensuring well being in all the dimensions. WHO's definition highlights the continuum of care approach, stressing that interventions should begin before conception, continue through pregnancy, birth, and extend into postpartum, including family planning services. Maternal mortality ratio. We have talked about that in previous lectures. It refers to the number of maternal deaths per 1 lakh live births. And variation within India is a star. Poorer districts, rural areas, and marginalized caste or tribal communities face the highest risks. A 3 delays lens helps explain many deaths. Delays in deciding to seek care, reaching an appropriate facility, and receiving quality treatment once there. Social determinants: early marriage, low female education, undernutrition, and limited decision making power intersect with weak transport and referral systems to compound the risk of the mother. Many deaths cluster around intrapartum and immediate postpartum period, underscoring the need for skilled birth attendants, timely emergency obstetric and newborn care, access to blood, to drugs such as uterotonics for postpartum hemorrhage, magnesium sulfate for eclampsia, and broad spectrum antibiotics for sepsis. Respectful maternity care is crucial. Fear of mistreatment, of out of pocket costs pushes women away from facilities or leads to late presentations. Strengthening continuity of care from quality antenatal care and birth preparedness to postnatal follow ups and safe abortions and family planning prevents both first and repeat high risk pregnancies. Robust maternal death surveillance and response systems can convert every death into learning and local action. Ultimately, sustained progress requires investment in midwifery led care, 24/7 basic and comprehensive emergency obstetric neonatal care, reliable referral transport, and financing protections that make life saving care timely, high quality, and affordable. The Safe Motherhood Initiatives was launched in Nairobi in 1987 to draw international attention to maternal deaths. Its central goal is to make pregnancy and childbirth safe for all women. The initiative emphasizes comprehensive maternity care covering antenatal, intranatal, and postnatal services. Over time, Safe Motherhood has been integrated into broader reproductive health programs and linked with child survival efforts, reflecting the interdependence of mother and child health. Maternal health services are best understood through a continuum of care framework. It begins with pre-conception era, ensuring women are healthy before pregnancy. Antenatal care involves early registration, risk assessment, and preventive interventions. Intranatal care is critical as most maternal deaths occur during delivery. Postnatal care, often neglected, is essential to prevent complications in the postpartum period. The continuum extends to family planning and nutritional counseling, thereby linking maternal health to broader health outcomes. Beyond timing and frequency, quality antenatal care means each contact is purposeful. A full history, physical exam, and individualized care plan. Core labs typically include hemoglobin, blood group, Rh factor, urine examination, screening for infections such as syphilis, HIV, and hepatitis B. Many programs also screen for gestational diabetes mellitus by mid pregnancy. Ultrasound dating in the first trimester and a detailed anomaly scan around the mid pregnancy improves risk assessment and birth planning. Counsel on danger signs like severe headache, blurred vision, bleeding, leaking, fever, or reduced fetal movement, especially in the second trimester, and pre-eclampsia prevention. Low dose aspirin and adequate calcium are used for eligible high risk women as per national protocols. Nutrition and supplementation deserves time. Reinforcement of iron, folic acid tablets, calcium uptake, and deworming and malaria prevention wherever endemic areas are there, and weight gain targets are tailored according to the person. Then, a regular blood pressure check is also necessary. ANC is also the place for birth preparedness. Choosing a facility, arranging a birth companion, identifying transport, identifying blood donors at the time, and estimating costs with financial protection schemes. Integration of mental health and intimate partner violence screening with respectful maternity care so women feel safe returning for follow up. Finally, every visit should close with a clear next contact date and a postpartum plan, including early postnatal check, breastfeeding support, and contraception options to space pregnancies safely. Now, the intranatal care. Skilled care should be 24/7 and protocol driven. Use a partograph to track labor progress. Recognize obstructed or prolonged labor early, and a comprehensive emergency obstetric neonatal care must be available, along with parenteral antibiotics, oxytocics, and anticonvulsants. Manual removal of placenta, assisted vaginal delivery, neonatal resuscitation, and with C sections and blood transfusions on site availability along with rapid referral. Active management of third stage of labor with oxytocin is the cornerstone of postpartum hemorrhage prevention. While timely treatment bundles, which include uterotonics, uterine massage, trexanemic acid, within 3 hours, IV fluids, and blood products, all these things combine to reduce mortality. Clean birth practices, hand hygiene, sterile instruments, and aseptic care limit sepsis. And the WHO Safe Childbirth Checklist helps teams avoid emotions. Helps teams avoid omissions. Reliable referral and transport. Example 108, 102 vehicles. Functional blood banks and real time communication between facilities are essential to avoid second and third delays. India's Janani Suraksha Yojana and Janani Shishu Suraksha Yojana increase India's Janani Suraksha Yojana and Janani Shishu Suraksha Karyakram increase institutional deliveries and reduce out-of-pocket expenditure for mothers and newborns. But quality and timelessness of care remain the critical determinants of survival of both mother and the child. WHO recommends structured PNC contacts for every mother baby pair within 24 hours on day 3, between days 7 and 14, and at 6 weeks, with extra visits for preterm or low birth weight babies or complicated births. Each visit should include vitals, a measure of uterine involution and lochia check, perineal cesarean wound review, anemia screening, and a blood pressure check to catch postpartum preeclampsia. Every visit should include vitals, uterine involution, and lochia check, perineal and cesarean wound review, anemia screening, and a blood pressure check. Teach danger signs like heavy bleeding, foul discharge or fever, severe headache, visual blurring, chest pain, shortness of breath, calf swelling, and depressive symptoms, and establish rapid referral and transport. Providing of breastfeeding support like positioning, attachment, managing engorgement or mastitis are very essential and should be reinforced early. Exclusive breastfeeding assess maternal nutrition and iron folic acid plus calcium continuation. Integrate mental health screening. Intimate partner violence inquiry wherever safe and offer psychological support and peer groups. Offer postpartum family planning before discharge because that is the time when the female is most stimulated and ready to accept the advice of family planning. Then, early postpartum IUDs, injectables, progesterone only pills, and interval methods should be given them as an offer and should be emphasized for healthy spacing. Coordinate with community platforms for immunization of the newborns with their newborn thermal care and cord care and follow up for feeding, weight gain. Close the loop with clear return instructions and dates, helpline numbers, and JSSK financial entitlements and documentation in the mother child card so care remains continuous and women centered. Emergency obstetric care is central to safe motherhood. Basic emergency obstetric care includes life saving drugs and interventions, while comprehensive emergency obstetric care adds surgical services and blood transfusion. These should be available at first referral units. The timely provision of EMOC can prevent most maternal deaths caused by hemorrhage, eclampsia, and obstructed labor. Thus, ensuring functional first referral units is a key priority under maternal health programs in India. India has progressively expanded its approach to maternal health. Starting with family planning program in 1952, the focus gradually shifted to maternal and child health. The CSSM program of 1992 specifically emphasized safe motherhood. CSSM is child survival and safe motherhood. In 1997, the Reproductive and Child Health Program integrated maternal, child, and reproductive health services. Since 2005, the National Health Mission has provided an umbrella framework with initiatives like Janani Shishu Since 2005, the National Health Mission has provided an umbrella framework with initiatives like JSY, JSSK, and Lakshya targeting maternal health improvements. The CSSM program was a landmark in India as it recognized maternal health as a national priority. It aimed to reduce maternal and infant mortality through integrated strategies. These included training traditional birth attendants, promoting institutional deliveries, immunization, and oral rehydration therapy for child survival. Although limited in scope, CSSM laid the groundwork for subsequent RCH programs. The RCH program marked the integration of reproductive and child health services. RCH1 emphasized integrated service delivery, while RCH2 focused on strengthening infrastructure and human resources. Skilled birth attendants and emergency obstetric care were scaled up. The Janani Suraksha Yojana incentivized institutional deliveries. Importantly, RCH2 promoted decentralized planning and community participation, reflecting the shift to right based approaches in maternal health. Janani Suraksha Yojana was a game changer in India's maternal health landscape by offering cash incentives to mothers and ashas for institutional delivery. This addressed financial and cultural barriers. The program significantly increased institutional births across the country. While it improved access, concerns remain about quality of care and overburdened facilities. Nevertheless, GSY represents a critical milestone in safe motherhood initiatives. The Janani Shishu Suraksha Karikram was launched to remove out of pocket expenditure for maternal and newborn care. It guarantees free delivery, including cesarean section, in government facilities. It also includes free drugs, diagnostics, diet, and transport for mothers and newborns. Extending benefits to sick newborns was a step towards comprehensive maternal and child health protection. JSSK reflects the policy shift towards equity and financial protection. Lakshya or Labor Room Quality Improvement Initiative aims to ensure safe and respectful care for women during childbirth. It focuses on improving the quality of labor rooms and maternity OTs in public health facilities. The program emphasizes evidence based practices, infection control, and respectful maternity care. This reflects a recognition that access alone is not sufficient. Quality and dignity are equally important in maternal health services. The Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan program provided assured, comprehensive antenatal care on a fixed day each month. Specialists volunteer to provide free checkups. The program focuses on early identification and management of high risk pregnancies. By standardizing antenatal care, this program aims to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality. It also fosters public private partnerships by encouraging private doctors to contribute to maternal health services of in link with the government programs. Maternal death surveillance and response is a critical system innovation. It ensures that every maternal death is notified, reviewed, and analyzed to identify the causes and health system gaps. This information guides corrective actions and policy changes. This response reflects the principle that every maternal death is a tragedy and must be preventable. Effective implementation requires commitment, confidentiality, and a no blame approach. Community health workers are the backbone of maternal health. ASHAs and ANMs, they mobilize women for antenatal care and institutional deliveries. They provide health education, conduct home visits, and offer postnatal care. Anganwadi workers support nutrition counseling. Their role in linking the community with the health facilities is vital for increasing service utilization and addressing cultural barriers. At the global level, maternal health has been a key focus under the MDGs and the SDGs. While the MDGs emphasized having maternal mortality, the SDGs have set the target of reducing. While the Millennium Development Goals emphasized halving maternal mortality, the Sustainable Development Goals have set the target of reducing maternal mortality ratio to less than 70 by 2030. WHO and UNICEF have provided technical guidelines and global partnerships such as Every Woman, Every Child and the Global Financing Facility as mobilizing resources. These frameworks ensure political commitment and accountability for safe motherhood worldwide. There have been significant achievements in maternal health over the past 3 decades, both globally and in India. MMR has declined considerably. Institutional deliveries have significantly risen thanks to the JSY and JSSK schemes. Antenatal coverage has expanded, and there is a stronger policy focus on maternal health. These achievements demonstrate the effectiveness of integrated programs and sustained political commitment. Targeted equity strategies are essential. Focus funds, specialists, and transport on high burden districts and underserved blocks with indicators disaggregated by caste, tribe, rural urban, and adolescent status. Quality of care must move behind coverage to competence. Scale, Lakshay, and national quality assurance standards, simulation based drills, and midwifery led continuity of care units so every birth site can deliver basic, comprehensive, emergency, neonatal, and obstetric care reliably. To strengthen the referral continuum with functional first referral units, blood banks, storage units, real time ambulance networks, and clear decision to decision needle timelessness. Cut out of pocket costs at their source but by guaranteeing free drugs, diagnostics, and transport under Janini Shishu Suraksha Karikram, cashless entitlements, and under the PMJ for obstetric emergencies, and visible grievance redressal to curb informal payments. Engage the private sector through standard treatment guidelines, contracting public private partnerships where public capacity is thin, and mandatory reporting and clinical audits. Tackle socio-cultural barriers directly, men's involvement, birth companions, respectful maternity care, and community dialogue with mothers-in-law and local leaders to normalize local facility care and postpartum contraception. Using strong data systems, maternal death surveillance and response, HMIS, RCH portals, and near miss reviews to turn every adverse event into corrective action at facility and district levels. Finally, safeguard reproductive rights by ensuring access to safe abortion services, a full basket of contraceptive choices, and adolescent friendly counseling. These are critical levers for meeting the SDG target on maternal mortality. The way forward involves strengthening health systems with adequate infrastructure, human resources, and supplies. Quality of care and respectful maternity care must be prioritized. Community participation enhances trust and utilization. Maternal health should be integrated with universal health coverage, ensuring equity and financial protection. Continuous monitoring through systems like MDSR is essential for accountability and progress. To summarize, maternal health is central to reproductive and child health policies and the Sustainable Development Goals agenda. Safe motherhood requires comprehensive, continuous care spanning preconception to postpartum. India has made remarkable efforts through programs such as Janani Suraksha Yojana, Janani Shishu Suraksha Karikram, Lakshya, and PMSMA. While there are achievements, persistent challenges necessitate renewed commitment. This talk reinforces the importance of maternal health as a public health and a human rights priority. Great work today. As you synthesize lecture 14, connect the clinical continuum of ANC with intrapartum and PNC, then emergency obstetric and newborn care, financing protections, and respectful maternity care. With the sociological drivers, we have emphasized gender norms, caste, class, stratification, and structural violence that shape access and outcomes. Try drafting a simple theory of change for one Indian initiative, anyone like JSI, JSY, JSSK, or Lakshya. List the inputs, activities, outputs, short term outcomes, and the equity impacts you expect. Critique out metrics beyond maternal mortality ratio. What do near miss reviews, process quality audits, and patient experience scores reveal? That crude rates hide. For a district, outline three priority bottlenecks like blood availability or referral days or and match them to feasible fixes within 6 months. Consider community power. How the VHSNCs or Mahila Arogya Samitis and birth companions operationalize social accountability and improve trust. Bring one brief case or data slice to the discussion that illustrate an equity gap and a concrete intervention to close it. This is all for today. For the next time, we'll link these insights into newborn and child health with RMNCH plus A framework and practice building a monitoring dashboard that integrates quality, equity, and client voice. Thank you for today.